Hi, it's Miss Vitale. This is the Introduction to Biology, which follows Chapter 1 in the textbook for AP Biology. On midnight, December 31st, 1999, what happened? People around the world celebrated a new millennium. A millennium is a 1,000-year time frame. In the human experience, 1,000 years is a time frame that represents hundreds of generations, innumerable changes in science, technology, agriculture, and other areas. Yet from the perspective of the age of the Earth and the time over which life has been evolving, even the 4,000-year-old pyramids built by modern humans are extremely young. If the history of the Earth is visualized as a 30-day month, recorded human history is confined to the last 30 seconds of the last day. Life on Earth has evolved over several billion years. Evolution is the major overarching theme of biology. Biology is the scientific study of life. A basic characteristic of life is a high degree of order. We can look at biology and the ecosystems by studying a hierarchy, beginning with the small molecule. A molecule is two or more atoms bonded together. An example would be chlorophyll or DNA. An organelle is one of several formed bodies with specialized functions inside a cell. An example would be a chloroplast, a ribosome, or a mitochondria. The cell is the smallest unit of life. It has all of the characteristics of life. Example, a leaf cell, a fat cell, a brain cell. Tissue is an integrated group of cells with a common structure and function. An example would be the plant epidermis, nerve tissue. An organ is a specialized center of body function composed of several different types of tissues. A leaf is an organ. A liver is an organ. The brain is an organ. An organ system is a group of organs working together to perform a vital function. In the human body, you have a respiratory system, a circulatory system, a digestive system. Those are just some examples. An organism is an individual living thing. It is composed of organ systems. So an organism would be a human, a plant, a bacteria. Organisms make up populations. Populations are groups of organisms of the same species. A species is an interacting group of individuals that can produce healthy, fertile offspring. All of the different types of organisms or species in an area make up the community. Populations that live together in an area make up the community. An ecosystem is the community and its non-living surroundings. And the biosphere is the part of the earth that contains all of the ecosystems, the oceans, the land, and the lower atmosphere. The word science means to know. Biologists use two types of exploration: discovery science, which includes induction, and hypothetico-deductive science. Discovery science and induction uses reasoning from observations to reach a conclusion. Basically, discovery science includes observations and measurements. It enables us to describe life at many levels, from ecosystems down to cells and molecules. An example of discovery science and induction is the Human Genome Project. This was a detailed dissection and description of DNA. Hypothetico-deductive science is the scientific method. It includes observation, questions, a hypothesis, predictions, and the test, which is the experiment or additional observations. A hypothesis is oftentimes defined as a tentative answer to a question or an educated guess. Deduction is the opposite of induction. It is from general premises to find specific results. It takes the form of predictions in science. A controlled experiment compares an experimental or your variable group with a control. There are 3 domains that govern all organisms on the planet. A domain is a category for grouping organisms. The 3 domains are bacteria, archaea, and eukaryota. Bacteria and archaea are prokaryotes. These are small simple cells without a nucleus, and eukarya are eukaryotes, which are larger, more complex cells with a nucleus. Archaea are closely related to eukarya due to the DNA evidence. All organisms have DNA, which is the code for life. In order for an organism to be considered living, it has to meet the following criteria. It has order. All organisms are organized. It displays regulation. Organisms maintain a constant internal environment. It has growth and development. Organisms grow and develop like other members of their species. It uses energy. Organisms use energy to maintain life. The ultimate source of energy for most organisms on the planet is the sun. Organisms respond to the environment. They respond to stimulus in the environment. Organisms reproduce. They replicate DNA in order to reproduce. And organisms evolve. That's when a species changes over time. Evolution is a change in a population or species over time. Charles Darwin wrote The Origin of the Species in 1859. He is considered the father of evolution. He developed the modern theory of evolution that is widely accepted and understood today. A theory is a widely accepted explanation that is supported by a large body of evidence. The theory of evolution is based on natural selection. That natural selection is when there are changes in a population or a species due to changes in the environment. It is survival of the fittest. Natural selection is also based on adaptations. This is when an organism has an inherited characteristic that gives it a better chance of surviving and reproducing in a given environment. Adaptations are favorable in a given environment.